Hi everybody, in this screencast we're going to look at a really cool part of AngularJS, which is a service mechanism. So first we'll set up let's imagine a calculator app. It's going to calculate stuff, obviously, and in a calculator application or in any application you're going to have methods which you want to refer to across your application. And Angular provides a very nice mechanism for that, which is the services concept, which you work with inside of the services file. So we're going to start here by tweaking the placeholder stuff that we get in the AngularJS seed template. So we're going to make this a var app so that we can refer to it. And now that we've done that, we can say app.service and then give it a particular name that we can refer to elsewhere. So this is going to be the addition service. So here's the addition service, and what is the addition service going to do? It is going to have a function where we don't have a name or parameters in this particular case, and it's going to have a method, this add, and in there will be a function which again will not have a name but will receive two variables, a and b, and unsurprisingly we're going to return a plus b. Very simple example, but a very nice way in which to start the topic of services. So there we are, our service is done. Now let's go and use it. So we switch to our controller. Now here we have the placeholder for the controller, and we start creating our new function in here that will make use of our service. Now this is one of the functions that is going to make use of the service. There are going to be multiple functions ultimately. That's why we have a service, because otherwise we could just put the code into the controller. So there'll be a scope, and there'll be a request for an addition. So we say addition service, and then we say that the scope of a variable yet to be used, the total, equals 0. And then we're going to say scope and then add, and that equals a particular function. And in the function we're going to say that scope total equals our addition service. So here we can find it, addition service, and that there is an add method in the service, and we're going to pass in there scope number 1, which we don't have yet, but we're going to work with soon. We're going to have that defined inside of our view, and scope number 2, and we'll close this off with a semicolon. So now we need to use this function, and we do that inside of our partial file. So here's the partial file. I'm going to run the application so we can see everything as it happens. So here's the view being displayed. Initially we get a whole bunch of stuff that we don't actually want, so let's delete this stuff that we don't want, and this, where is this found? Go to source. So here, this we don't need, and this we don't need. It's just distracting for what we are trying to do here. Okay, so what do we want? First of all, we're going to have h1 and display total. I'm pressing save, and then we have defined the total already. So you can see it's 0. That's what we said inside the controller. And now we say number 1. And what is number 1? Number 1 is an input that has as a type number, and is tied to the ng model number 1. So here is the variable number 1 that we refer to back in our controller. So we're going to receive the scope, and from the scope number 1 will be found, and we're going to have a number 2, and both of these are going to be passed to the add method in the addition service. So click Control Shift down just to copy it, and here's number 2. Number 2 of course has the variable name number 2. So number 1 and number 2, and let's copy these two down. So Control Shift down and then Alt Shift down to move it. And the final step in our little exercise is to create a button, and the button has an ng click because we want some special functionality. And as we can see from the documentation here, the ng click allows you to specify custom behavior when the element is clicked, and the custom behavior will be provided by our method or our function, and here is the function. So the function is add. So here, add. So we have the function add, and now we can finish off this button and say, for example, add. So what happens when we get out of NetBeans inspection mode? 2 and 4 or 5, we have 7. Now we could do this in a much simpler way. We could do the addition directly inside the controller, but now that we have actually moved the code not in the controller, but we've moved it into the services file, we can now refer to this addition service in multiple different places, because we're not going to want to add in only one controller but in multiple different controllers. And in this way we can encapsulate all the generic functionality or the utility functionality into the services part of our application, and also it makes it easy to find those methods. In a way, this encourages modularization and separation of concerns, and it's a very nice feature in AngularJS. So thank you for watching and have fun with AngularJS.